autumn air is so good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk Now Radio. This is your host, Royce, Redneck Radio Man. And joining me today is Angela Perron. And in fact, I just got her on the line. And if you'll give me just 1 second, and let me tell everybody that we are live now. I just did a mix-up, everybody. I went to play my intro, and I forgot to have it loaded in the Queen, so it went to play a different track that I guess it just chooses something random. So that's why y'all didn't hear the intro. Just want to let everybody know the show is live now. Andrea, I want to thank you for coming on here and being on the air with me today and giving us a little peek at the behind the scenes of your movie, The Conjuring. And I got to tell you, have I told you that my son gave it the good seal of approval?
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that makes all the difference.
Yeah, it made to get a compliment from my son Josh on a horror movie is like next to impossible to do.
Oh.
It says a lot that he come home and said it was to him without a doubt the greatest horror movie of at least our time, if not more.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm so glad. I think it really is a stunning film. It really is. It's not only is it beautifully filmed, just James Wan did an extraordinary job with this movie, but, the thing is you can really see that it was made with heart, that the people that made it not only invested their money, they invested their emotional and intellectual the best of what they had, they brought to this project. And to me, I'm so glad because it was really, Royce, I'm telling you, it was a huge, huge leap of faith to sign a contract blind and not know who I was handing the rights to our names and likenesses to.
Since this has happened, have you been just swamped with phone calls?
Oh, my God, it's been nuts. I'm 1,200 messages behind. I spend every day more behind than I was the day before. And you know me, I've always answered my own mail over these last few years since the books have been coming out. I've always made a point to be in touch with the people who bother to be in touch with me. And I am like 2 months behind, maybe more. Since the movie opened. That was it. I mean, I came home to 2,600 messages in my email and on Facebook, and that's not counting the other file, on Facebook, the other file. I mean, I know I've missed opportunities to do interviews. I know people have reached out to me through my website. I can't keep up. It is not possible for me to keep up with the influx of interest.
I feel honored.
Well, it's from all over the world. The only place that I haven't heard from, the only continent that I haven't been written from is Antarctica.
Huh. They must be behind time. No.
I know. Well, it's, those penguins. They just can't handle the pencil.
I am sorry. I just had to go there. But I think you were tempting me on purpose.
I did, yeah. I set you up very nicely, and you fell for it. Excellent. We should take this on the road. Oh, God. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and the movie has been spectacularly well received. From the initial, all of the initial reviews have been great. But it's the audience that matters. It's the audience that matters. And the thing that I'm so excited about is the DVD comes out on the 22nd of October.
Because I haven't got to see it yet. I don't get out much with my emphysema, and I've been kind of waiting for it to come to DVD to watch it here on my widescreen TV at home. And you say it's coming out the 20th of when now?
The 22nd of October.
Perfect. I'm going to tell Josh, because I probably don't need to tell him. Knowing him, he probably know. And you know what? My son Josh recently, within this month, went to work for Blockbuster. So the minute that DVD hits there, I bet he can get it for me for us to watch for free.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Well, I also have a DVD that's out with Mysterious World TV. Devin Belanger is owner of that network, and she has just done a remarkable job. She's turned out a number of fabulous DVDs, but she launched it in the United States with mine, and she did a distribution deal with Echo Bridge Distributing, and they are coupling my DVD with The Conjuring, so that you can not only see the movie, but you can also learn about the backstory as well. Plus, there's all kinds of extras in the DVD. There's interviews with my family members and myself, and all kinds of extra stuff in the package. So it's going to sell like crazy. You know, there's an awful lot of people out there that did not go see it on the big screen because they were too afraid to. They wanted to wait till the DVD came so that they could watch it in the privacy of their own homes on their big TV screens, where they could pause it if they needed to, they could leave the room, they could catch their breath, they could, you know, it really is, it's an amazing film. Now, there are discrepancies, you know, there are elements of it that were fictionalized. And there was a reason for that, because this story is so huge. Well, you know how huge this story is. There's no way that they could have condensed it into a 2-hour film. So they had all of Mrs. Warren's material to work with, and they had my material to work with. And they had to pick and choose what to do. And the screenwriters really pulled a thread from her story and pulled a thread from our story, and in the process they weaved a whole new tapestry together. You know, there are discrepancies, like Bathsheba Sherman was not a witch to anyone's knowledge. There's absolutely no proof anywhere. She was accused of being a witch. That's different. You know, a baby did die in her care when she was a young woman, and in the film they've got it listed as 1863, her killing her own child. She was an old woman by then. She was way beyond childbearing years. You know, my mother doesn't bite, even when provoked. You know, there was no exorcism that occurred in the house. It was a seance that went wrong. And nobody did anything wrong deliberately. It just, all hell broke loose. It didn't happen in the cellar. It happened in the dining room. I was there. I saw what happened. There were, you know, a lot of discrepancies that, you know, we're portrayed, and I understand why they did it, but we're portrayed as a godless family, but that's not true at all. We were all born and raised and baptized into the Catholic Church. So, you know, there are a lot of things that are off about it. There's not a single scene from the books portrayed in the film, not one. Everything's been changed a little here or there, but here's the thing, the big picture. They got it just right to, you know, be able to tell the Warren story, and it starts with Ed and Lorraine dealing with some nurses who have a possessed doll called Annabelle. And so this film was actually designed to tell the Warrens' story and to tell it well. And that's one thing that I give them great credit for, because it really is a testament to the career of Ed and Lorraine Warren and how they didn't just try to help our family. They did thousands of investigations in the 50 years that they were paranormal investigators together. Sadly, Ed has passed away, but the last thing that he asked of Lorraine was if she would, while she is still on this earth, find a way to get this story told, because Ed and Lorraine both agreed always that of all the investigations that they conducted, the Perrin family haunting was the most intense, compelling, disturbing, and significant of their storied career as paranormal researchers.
To my knowledge, Lorraine is still carrying on the tradition of ghost hunting.
That woman, there is no stopping her. You know, I won't divulge her age exactly, but she's in her 80s, and she's an amazing person in terms of what she manages to get accomplished on a day-to-day basis. And Warner Brothers had her all over the place when this film opened, and somehow she managed, and she kept pace with everything that was coming, and I'm very impressed that she was able to do that. I spent time with her twice, in last March and then in July when the film opened out in California. And she's sharp as a tack. She remembers everything that happened in that house, and even she agrees that, what happened on the film isn't exactly what happened in the house, but it gives people a really big overview, and it answers, to a certain extent, it answers two very critically important questions to humankind, and that is that good conquers evil and love conquers fear. And those are things that we deal with in our mortal lives day to day. Every day of our lives, we are confronted by the manifestation of evil. All we have to do is turn on the TV, and we can see evil manifesting all over the world. But we also see the fight against it manifesting all over the world. It is, I guess it's the yin and the yang. It's the cross that we bear. It's part of who we are.
Right.
And some people, who among us hasn't ever done anything that they regretted? Even if it was just a little sin, even if it was just, who among us has never done anything that they felt sorry for? Deliberately hurt someone or, it's part of humanity. My mother has always said, she said, I wouldn't hurt a fly, but, well, that's not true. I've seen her kill lots of flies. But, the fact is that if something ever hurt one of her own, she went to war in that house. She went to spiritual war in that house to protect her kids.
Now, I was going to say, I might tell somebody I wouldn't hurt a flea, but a roach is another story.
Yeah, and poisonous spiders, all bets are off when it comes to the brown recluse. Yes, there are things that need to be wiped off the face of the earth. That's if they come in the carport. That's it. They're too close to the house, and so sorry. Yeah, I understand what you mean. None of us is purely good, and the thing that's scary is that there are some people on this planet that are purely evil. And it is up to us, the peacemakers. And I'm a pacifist, I'm all for, I love the peace sign and I love what it stands for, and I hate to see war, and I hate to see, all of the pain and suffering in the world. But the pain and suffering will continue until those who are inflicting it are vanquished from the planet. Period. So it's an ongoing struggle, and I think that if we're pragmatic and we're realistic, then we all have to face the fact that evil is a daily part of our lives, whether we like it or not. And we don't like it. So we fight against it in every way that we can, but it still manifests, and it's still a part of humanity.
Right.
And I think that the movie really expresses that well. Ed and Lorraine Warren, I don't care what's been said about these two people. All I can base my reaction to them, hold on a sec. All I can do is base my reaction to them on the interaction that I had with them.
Right. Well, I can tell you up front that I know there's a lot of negative things out about the Warrens. It's been suggested that they're frauds and hoaxsters, etc. But, in all honesty, Andrea, I don't think you can listen to everything that you see out on the web about them or anybody else.
Oh, my God, no. Or anybody else, that's right.
Anybody they disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. So, you're just talking about people's opinions. They go out there, they mudsling just because they want to discredit somebody because they don't like what they're saying, and they want people to have doubts in what they're saying. And it doesn't mean that what you're reading or hearing is true. That's
right, especially on the Internet, because anybody can put anything out on the web and tag their name to it, and, that's just how it is. There's a bunch of stuff out there. There's a Wikipedia post out there about myself and my family that is I don't know who put it up. I have no idea where it came from, and it is so riddled with inaccuracies, and I can't tell you how many reporters have written articles about our story based on that Wikipedia post. Are you kidding me? It is so wrong. It is so incorrect. I have repeatedly asked that it be taken down, but I'm not the one that put it up, so I can't take it down. And I just tell people, if you want to know what really happened to our family, read the books, because I'm in control of that. I wrote them. I know. That comes directly from the source. It comes directly from inside my family. And that's the only way anything that you want to know about this story is in these 3 books. And so that's where you go first.
Okay, well, Andrea, I do have a question to ask you that may be a little difficult, may not be a little difficult, and that is, not long after the movie come out, and you was on my show and you were telling me how that, James Wan and all the producers or whatever had went out of their way to protect the family that lived there and not let their information out. There was a post on Facebook and got around to a few other places that somebody had let the cat out of the bag, and that these people were being, everything you said on the last time we talked would happen to them, but people found out did happen. They just couldn't get no peace. People continually knocking on the door, harassing them. And do you know if there's any truth to that, or was that just propaganda? Or
Oh, God, that was not propaganda. That was absolutely real. And some idiot in California did some research and got, I don't know how, but got personal information about the owners of the house and posted it on YouTube. And YouTube finally took that post down, but it took about 2 or 3 weeks. And, of course, that information got around. And, yes, they have been tormented since the movie opened, and I'm very, very sorry about that. We had absolutely nothing to do with it. In fact, I have tried to accommodate. If you look at my YouTube channel, you will see that I have made pleas to the public to leave them alone, to stay away from the farm, that, this couple does not deserve this. They've lived there for 25 plus years with no problem. There was no problem when the books came out. It wasn't until the film came out that all hell broke loose up there, and some moron took some kind of tool or a baseball bat or something to Bathsheba Sherman's gravestone because of a movie. Idiots. And, I put a video out and I said, I don't know who desecrated Bathsheba Sherman's gravestone, but she does, and woe be unto you. And I meant that, because she is an active spirit, and she got a raw deal. She got blamed for things that she did not necessarily do, and what she was blamed for in life, she's had to live with after death, and it's a shame, and it's a crime, and to have her, her tombstone's been there since 1885, and it's in pieces now, and for absolutely no reason, no good reason. And, for people to think that they can just go up to the farm and just walk on that property and trespass and go up to that house and take pictures inside that house through the windows and do what they're doing is beyond conscience. That's the lunatic fringe. Margie Mursky, my SEO administrator who monitors my web presence, she has done everything in her power to find wherever any post has been put out about their personal information, the address of the farm, anything, and wipe it off the internet. But it's gotten to the point where it's a full-time job to monitor. It's just ridiculous what people will do. And, my question to the people that do stuff like this, would you want this happening to your family? Would you want this happening to your own home? No, it's ridiculous, and it's a shame.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty sad, and I thought to myself when I saw that you were going to be upset about it, because I remember last time you were on the show, you stressed how important their privacy was to you. This hasn't affected your relationship with these people, has it?
Well, it's been difficult. It has been difficult, I will say that.
So they kind of hold you partly responsible, even if you're not actively, because they figure that, even if you hadn't tried to, that if you hadn't went public, it wouldn't have happened at all, or something of that nature?
Well, the problem lies in that in order to try to make this stop, the owner of the farm has posted some things that are hurtful, and we have, after years and years of being friends, have broken our ties because of it. because what she's basically said is, go away, there are no ghosts here. And, you know, this story isn't true. And you know what? This story is true.
Yeah, well, I would imagine they felt like that might be the only way to get people to come, but she probably didn't realize is people wouldn't listen to that.
Well, I have been completely, totally consistent about my story for 40 years. And, you know, she's on the record in a lot of places talking about the farm and, you know.
Right.
And, you know, when the movie comes out, say, no, I didn't mean any of that. You know, no ghosts here, go away. You know, and I understand that. I mean, if I were living at the farm, I can't say for certain that I wouldn't want to put the same thing out. But, you know, it's a leap to go from there are no ghosts here to Andrea's a liar. You know, I've never been called a liar in my life. And so that was very hurtful. And,
well, they didn't film this movie at the actual house, did they?
Pardon? No, they did not film it at the actual house.
That much is good.
Well, yeah, thank God. It was filmed in North Carolina.
Sorry about interrupting you. I apologize.
That's okay. No, that's all right.
Go ahead.
It's just how it is, you know, and I'm very sad about how things turned out, and I've spent a lot of time crying about it because that relationship was very, very important to me, and not just because it brought me access to the farm, Royce. It's because the people are important to me. And this change of this 180 has been a little difficult to swallow. But, you know, here's the thing. I'm not going to just lay down and say, you know, go ahead, you know, say anything you please about me or accuse me of this or that or the other thing. I'm just not. I will defend myself. Because the fact of the matter is, if someone calls me a liar, then they're calling my mother a liar, my father, my 4 sisters, and dozens of other people who had experiences at that farm while we were there, many of whom are mentioned in the books by name, who absolutely gave their permission for me to use their names.
Right. Which is why a lot of people wouldn't listen to what they're saying. A lot of people just say, well, they just want us to quit coming out. They're just telling us anything to get us off their back, which, you'd be able to understand that.
I do understand that, and that's why I pray for them every single day. That's why, in spite of the fact that our communications have come to an end, I still care, and I pray for them every day because they do not deserve this.
Okay. Now, I want to remind everybody that if you want to learn more about Andrea, you can go to www.houseofdarknesshouseoflight.com, and you can also go to www.youtube.com/user/Andrea Perron. The A and the P are capitalized. I've also got those linked to on the page right underneath the chat room. If you want to scroll down, you'll see her description and her YouTube channel. And I think, yes, there's even further down her Warner Brothers link to the Conjuring information directly on that. And y'all can learn a lot more about her by doing this here. And I also want to take a moment to remind everybody, if you got any questions, the call-in number is 832-632-7904. And I'm going to take a moment here, get a shameless plug-in because I'm running out of time. In about roughly 11 days, on the 23rd, we're going to be having a contest. I'm calling it Dare to Scare. I'm looking for 5 people to be callers for October 23rd at 7 p.m. Central Time. I need you to send me your contact information in advance and the title to the story that you're going to tell. Looking for people to tell the scariest story they can come up with. Doesn't need to be true. Just needs to be scary. This is, after all, just for fun, just for Halloween. And we're going to have 3 winners. And the prizes are going to be a Talk Now Radio t-shirt, a Talk Now Radio, well, actually the t-shirt's the first place prize. The cap, trucker's cap. I had to think a minute. is going to be the second place prize, and the Talk Now Radio coffee mug is going to be the third place prize. What we're going to do, we're going to tell all these stories on the 23rd, and then the next day I'm going to post a poll on my site. Everybody can come and vote for the one they thought was the scariest. And then on the 30th, or actually I might just wait till on the 31st, when I have my interview with Linnea Lee, the traditional Halloween I've been doing with her for the past 4 or 5 years. We're going to announce the winner and see who all gets to win what. So, folks, get your stories ready. Don't wait till the last minute. Send me your names, your what you want to title your story. If you want to, you can send the information on the story. You can wait till you're live on the air. I'm going to need to know where to call you, or, if you want, you can look right on my front page. The number to the show is there if you want to call in here. Let me know if you're going to want to call in with it or how you want to do it. We can do this over Skype. So I can work with you. I'm flexible. But let's have a contest. Let's have some fun. So, Andrea, I'm sorry for that, taking that moment out for that shameless plug, but the 23rd...
Oh, no, it's your air, honey. You do whatever you please on it.
The 23rd's not far away.
No, it's not.
And in fact, I was hoping to get you to share some scary stories here, but I don't want you to run out if you want to enter the contest.
Oh, no, honey. I will leave that contest to others. I've already told my scary story in 1,385 pages.
Well, can you share any of these events with us? Maybe some of the ones that didn't make the movie, or maybe even one or two that did, if you can get away with it.
Well, there's really nothing in the books that is portrayed on screen exactly how it happened. What they tried to do was amalgamate the story into, like I said before, there's just no conceivable way to cram this much information into a 2-hour film. They had to do it differently than that. They had to do it so that it told a story not only about the Warrens, but also our story as well. And the only way that they could do that was to make a very brief storyline out of it, a brief period of time storyline. Where we moved into the house, all these things started happening. My mother never asked the Warrens to come and help us. She didn't ask anybody to come and help us because she didn't know anybody in the paranormal community, or if there even was a paranormal community. And back then, there really wasn't. There was just a few people, and she had no idea who Ed and Lorraine Warren are. Keith Johnson is actually the one who informed the Warrens of what was, what our predicament was at the farm. And he's the one that brought it to their attention, and they came and sought us out. And it was right about now. It was just before Halloween in 1973. So 40 years ago this month.
That would be a while. But then, too, you did say it was while you were a kid. So I was 15 or 14 when I met them, yeah.
So
what was one of the scariest things that happened while you were growing up?
Well, the most horrifying thing that happened was what was represented as an exorcism in the film. And as I said earlier, it was a seance. The Warrens came, they brought a priest, a medium, a technical crew with them, with all state-of-the-art equipment, these big, on-the-shoulder cameras and tripods and everything. And it was the technical crew set up their equipment down in the cellar, and then we're taking photographs of this event. It was being taped. I don't know if any of it was ever salvaged. I have no idea if there's anything out there about that, but it was horrible. My sister Cindy and I snuck down the back stairwell, and we watched through a crack in the door at what happened. 4 of the 5 of us were home that night. April was upstairs, Christine was upstairs, and Cindy and I broke the rules and came down to watch what was going on. And the thing that was so horrifying about it is that, I cannot, in an unqualified way, say that my mother was possessed that night. My mother was certainly attacked that night. And for a brief period of time, she was taken over by something horrible, something that was truly evil, that I believe was not of this world. It spoke through her in a language that I have never heard on this planet. It caused her body to warp and twist in ways that a human body does not. It wound up into a ball. She screamed in agony, absolute agony, and project. And to me, you know, I'm so glad because it was really, Royce, I'm telling you, it was a huge, huge leap of faith to sign a contract blind and not know who I was handing the rights to our names and likenesses to.
And since this has happened, have you been just swamped with phone calls?
Oh, my God, it's been nuts. I'm 1,200 messages behind. I spend every day more behind than I was the day before. And you know me, I've always answered my own mail over these last few years since the books have been coming out. I've always made a point to be in touch with the people who bother to be in touch with me. And I am like 2 months behind, maybe more, on since the movie opened. That was it. I mean, I came home to 26.
The autumn air is so good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk Now Radio. Mr. Host Royce, Redneck Radio Man. And joining me today is Angela Perron. And in fact, I just got her on the line. And if you'll give me just 1 second, and let me tell everybody that we are live now. I just did a mix-up, everybody. I went to play my intro, and I forgot to have it loaded in the Queen, so it went to play a different track that I guess it just chooses something random. So that's why y'all didn't hear the intro. Just want to let everybody know the show is live now. Andrea, I want to thank you for coming on here and being on the air with me today and giving us a little peek at the behind the scenes of your movie, The Conjuring. And I got to tell you, have I told you that my son gave it the good seal of approval?
We should take this on the road. Oh, God. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. And the movie has been spectacularly well received. You know, from the initial, all of the initial reviews have been great. And then, but it's the audience that matters. It's the audience that matters. And the thing that I'm so excited about is the DVD comes out on the 22nd of October.
Because I haven't got to see it yet. I don't get out much with my emphysema, and I've been kind of waiting for it to come to DVD to watch it here on my widescreen TV at home. And you say it's coming out the 20th of when now?
The 22nd of October.
Perfect. I'm going to tell Josh, because I probably don't need to tell him. Knowing him, he probably know. And you know what? My son Josh recently, within this month, went to work for Blockbuster. So the minute that
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that makes all the difference.
Yeah, it made to get a compliment from my son Josh on a horror movie is like next to impossible to do. Oh. It says a lot that he come home and said it was to him without a doubt the greatest horror movie of at least our time, if not more.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm so glad. I think it really is a stunning film. It really is. It's not only is it beautifully filmed, just James Wan did an extraordinary job with this movie, but, you know, the thing is you can really see that it was made with heart, that the people that made it not only invested their money, they invested their emotional and intellectual the best of what they had, they brought to this 100 messages in my email and on Facebook, and that's not counting the other file. You know, on Facebook, the other file. I mean, I know I've missed opportunities to do interviews. I know people have reached out to me through my website. I can't keep up. It is not possible for me to keep up with the influx of interest.
I feel honored.
Well, it's from all over the world. The only place that I haven't heard from, the only continent that I haven't been written from is Antarctica.
Huh. They must be behind time. No.
I know. Well, it's, you know, those penguins, they just can't handle the pencil.
I am sorry. I just had to go there. But I think you were tempting me on purpose.
I did, yeah. I set you up very nicely, and you fell for it. Excellent.